blue? Is that blue or
No,
green?
sort of a, I don't know what color that is. It's not really blue.
Maybe sage.
We alive, and we talk about color. Hello, people. Hello, people. It's
Hello.
another Monday, and we're back. Very consistent. We are determined to stay here. Today, Facebook said to me that I have 1,041, 1,400 something views, which means I'm getting there. So
Yes, you
people are
are.
viewing, and I'll take my time. I would love to have whatever everybody else has, but I'll take my time and I'll wait. Okay? I will wait. And they sent a survey out if I got we need more, how do you think they can help us a little bit more. So YouTube, I'm with you. Okay? Yes, just say it. So folks, welcome. Welcome to another stream. I hope everyone is doing fine. And another Monday, another topic for women, us women to talk about. And I don't talk about age. I say women of any age. When women of all ages literally kind of have the same, not issues, but challenges in life, but probably see things in a different way and do things differently because, as you mature, you see things differently, or some people never ever mature and see things differently, however, whatever it goes. To each his own. Like I always say, everybody have to carry their own basket. That's my saying. All right? So I'm Cheryl Diane Sloan, and I'm an international keynote speaker. I'm an image consultant. I'm a trainer. I'm an author. All of those things roll into one. That's who I am. And I call myself, I'm not sure which one was the most rebellious of the two, Thelma and Louise. But somehow I want to be rebellious this year. Rebellious in a really good way. I want to do what I want to do. I need to get some things done, and I'm determined. So I'm adopting a little bit of a little Thelma and Louise kind of attitude. You know what? I'm coming through. Or they move. All right? I am not making joke. I'm not waiting on anybody. I am heading out there. I'm getting after it. So that's my Thelma and Louise attitude. And I hope everybody has the attitude of getting up and getting up and moving. Because today is 16th of the month already. Yeah? The first
Can
month of
you
2023,
imagine?
of
Wow.
course, the mid mark. So if we don't get up and get, we'll be singing Auld Lang Syne again, lighting Christmas trees again, and saying, "Oh God, this year passed so fast. I ain't get to do what I want to do." So get after it. Okay? So I'll do my intro. I know I kind of jumped the gun and introduced myself, but let me do my intro and then Christine will come and say who she is, right? Because sometimes I could be like that. Start to talk before me to talk, whatever. It is what it is. So here goes the intro. Here it is. Christine,
Hey,
Louise, Selma,
hey
whoever.
there, everyone. Hey there, everyone. So I think it's Louise. Let's just say we're Thelma and Louise in spirit. So my name is Christine Francois, wellness coach, former banker, corporate communications executive, event production, company owner. I've done a lot of things. People say, but how have you done so many things? I've been here a while, and always curious about trying out new things and exploring and learning. I just think it's the best thing. There's so much life to be lived. And so, yeah, today we have an exciting topic, one that I have explored myself to some degree. And do you want to tell us what? Yes, Cheryl. Yes, OMG. Cheryl,
Yes,
do you want to tell everybody what we're talking about today?
we're talking. I love love, right? I'm in
Me
love with
too.
love
Me too.
because and different types of love. Agape love, love of God, because He gave us His only Son. But really, love. I love to love. I find it's difficult to really dislike people, to hate and to dislike and to be upset all the time. To me, it takes so much energy out of me. I'm not just saying that because superficially. I really mean that. I love love. So today we're going to explore this thing called online dating. And, you know, I was talking to a few people, listening to some of the ideas they had about this. Those who have explored, those who have explored different things, I start quietly listen. Oh, okay, whatever. And then my good YouTube friend in my mind, Candace Owens, spoke a little bit about it a couple of days ago. And I thought to myself, that's a good topic. She just did a little part of a segment of it. I thought that's a good topic. Because somebody said something to her too as well, why she kind of brought it up as well, right? And she
Okay.
explored the options of this swiping thing, swiping left and swiping right and swiping and all whatever. Right? So it seems as though it's a game. Because in those games, I've never been a gamer. When I was
No.
a little girl, I sit and read a book. I'm gonna start playing the hopscotch with anybody or jump around in any little boxes on the yeah. I am not. I'm sitting reading a book or playing in somebody's hair. I was always involved in some kind of fixing something. So I'm never a gamer. So when I hear about this swiping and swiping, I think to me, and I'm gonna give some stats that I pulled up, right? But
Good.
I think to me, and this is without judging people. This is not saying I'm just in my mind or in my what we say in my feelings, in my mind, right? Thinking that this is very much like a game because it's very superficial. It is. I could create a profile right now and say anything about myself because everybody who knows me think I know that I feel I'm 35, right? So I might just put that as my age, right? And because in my mind I feel that I'm like Marla Gibbs, Florence from the Family Jeffersons. I put myself there and I'm gonna vibrate right there, right? I'm gonna vibrate right there. As she said, she's 30 and she's 91, but she's supposed to about 30 and she's vibrating right there. So I'm gonna vibrate right because I like that age. To me at that age, I was even though I was already married and had children and stuff, I kind of fully understood what I wanted out of life. So that's my maturity. That's my coming of age, right? 35. So I may just put that, right? I may put on a blonde wig and say I'm a blonde, I'm a natural blonde, right? You know, I just may I may Photoshop my picture and put it up there, right?
Sure.
Not have a, not I have any reason to not love what God gave to me, right? I look in the mirror and I'm in love with me every single day more and more, and I'm thankful so much. They're just beautiful work of art, right? But the thing is, I can say almost anything I want to say on these apps, right? And that's the issue I have with it. That's my preliminary saying about the whole thing. That a lot of it seems very superficial, even though there have been a certain percentage I have, so I'll talk about it a little later after Christine says her thing. I there is a certain amount of a degree of success, right? But there's also a whole lot of confusion. That thing called catfishing and stuff. And if you
Yes.
look at my thumbnail for today, I'm learning how to do thumbnails here. So it mightn't be the best thumbnail, but I pulled up these two beautiful graphics, like a cartoon character. When the guy arrives at the woman's door with a bouquet of flowers, and she said, "Well, you don't look like your profile." And he said, "I was trying to impress you with my photoshopping skills." Because then he was with this big stomach and not looking out. I guess I don't know, whatever, right? And then the other one sitting there, like some men I know, not all men, I don't knock men, but there's some men who just don't get it. And she's saying, he's asking her for her website, how to contact her, and she's saying, get out of my face, you something moron, before I call the police.com. And he's writing, www. What? He doesn't even realize what she's saying to him. So I thought that was so funny. I wish there was a way I could show it on the screen. But when I update my equipment, I'll be able to show slides again. Okay, that's all I'm saying for now. But it is really so funny because those two things resonate with me. And I laugh a belly full by myself. And I'm saying that it's true. Because sometimes we talk to men and they don't hear, or they hear what they want to hear, right? And sometimes people lie, not just men, but this was a woman talk. This is a woman talking to men this time. It goes the other way a lot. I think a lot more. I think a lot more women fake who they are, fake
Oh my
their
goodness.
so-called beauty and whatever it is. So, Christine, let me hear your thing, and then we'll do stats and all the other things that goes into it. Let me hear your initial take on this online dating thing.
Well, you know, guys and gals, every week, I've said it before, Cheryl and I prepare for you. And so, Cheryl, I'm so thrilled that you did the stats because I didn't want to go in that direction. I was actually investigating, um, getting into some conversations with some dating and love coaches and so on. And I too have tested the waters a bit and found that there are some of the things that these dating coaches have articulated that I felt, and I thought to myself, number one, I have tried Tinder, I've tried a couple of other sites, and the first thing that happened, Cheryl, don't laugh, it was so funny because the first time that I did it, they zoned me. So they only put me in a, kind of provided me with options, gentlemen who were from Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
Let's just say it was less than exciting. And I actually did have one person who reached out to me and we had a phone conversation. Only in our, during the process of the conversation to discover that this gentleman was married and was testing the waters out there to see what's out there. At which point I bid him a fond adieu, and that was the last I heard. I did not want to speak to that person again because my question was, if you're married, why are you out here? It was so discouraging. And I thought to myself, is this really what this is about? And I am certain, but I reassured myself later on that number one, the people that I saw, the options, I said, my God, this can't be it. And number two, that I had to keep hope alive because there are 7 billion people on the planet. And this was just my first foray. So, as one coach said, you've got to have, if you're going to be engaging in online dating, step number one, you've got to have the mindset for it, and understand that it's going to require that you have some stamina. So I'm not depressed about it. I mean, I think because I have had so many opportunities to meet wonderful men in various personal development communities that I'm a part of, single men, that there are lots of good men out there. And men are looking for women of substance. And I'll tell you what, one male dating coach who writes for the AARP, he lives in Thailand, but what he said about what men are really looking for.
Okay.
So
Right.
don't
So
give up hope, ladies.
yeah, right. You certainly come back around the next time. I want to
Yes.
hear what he said. No, no. I didn't go deep into stats. I just wanted some figures, right? Because meeting when I grew up, like we grew up in the West. How we met guys was through friends, through
Yes.
connections. With all little veil parties, that everybody got a first little boyfriend. That it was a sort of a community thing, right?
That's
Whenever
right.
we decided to grow up and our friends were getting married, or like maybe older relatives were getting married, they'd always send a nice single male to take you to the wedding. That was like an escort. So you got to meet people that way. But times have changed. Because that was BC, before Christ, and there was no internet, right? So now, I have no problem embracing the new thing with the online dating. The problem I have is that people are not honest, right? So here are the stats. Stats for 2020 to 2023, right? So the global market, hope I can say this is 447, 5.28 million, right? That's the global market. That's dollars we're talking about, right? There are over 8,000 sites with dating sites available. Didn't even know
Uh,
that, right?
mhm.
7.86% of those of people who are online use Tinder. 323 million worldwide using other apps,
Yes.
right? And 14%, only 14% of online connections result in successful marriage, which means to me there's a big failure rate.
Yeah.
And therein lies my thing. Because you're not necessarily, it may not, a relationship doesn't always have to end in marriage, but certainly honest and good friendship, right? And I have looked at maybe too many of Dr. Phil's episodes where these beautiful elderly ladies, mainly elderly, some of them a little younger, and I couldn't figure out why they're so desperate because they still had that time. Some of the older ones, I could tell myself, okay, maybe they think time ticking away from them and they want to get going quickly before time runs out.
Yeah.
And where this woman, whose son actually connected her to a dating site because his father had died, his mother was well off, and she was comfortable. He said, Mom, you need to go out a little bit. So he did her profile for her. Little did he know what he was doing. She
Wow.
got on there and just kept falling in love and then fell in love with this particular guy, of course, was not real at the end of the day. And mortgaged her house, her husband left her in comfortably, took her savings out of the bank and kept sending for this man, right? To the tune of 96,000 US dollars she spent on this individual who was not who he said he was. And when the son found out, he got in touch with Dr. Phil and all of therapy. They were trying to look, and she kept saying that the man is real, that he loves
Yes.
her. And every Christmas for the last how many years he's coming to see her, but something always happens. The last time he was on the plane, on the going up the steps on the plane, and then something happened and he had to turn around. He had an emergency. And she believes this. Now, this is not an insane person. This is a person who, from all intents and purposes, has all her wits about her. But because she's
Yes.
so wanting to be in love, and whatever he was saying to her, whenever he spoke to her on the phone, because they had audio calls, right? No visual, but audio, right? No video, right? And she so believed in what he was saying that nothing could have convinced her. So what Dr. Phil did, he actually contacted the guy whose profile this person was using. And he appeared on video to tell her. Let's say his name is Martin Fisher. I don't know who Martin Fisher is. I'm just calling her name out of the whatever hat, right?
Random. Yeah.
Right, random. Let's say his name is Martin. He said, I am Martin Fisher. And this is my address in Texas or wherever else the person I'm thinking. And that person you're talking to, I'm telling you, is not me. He's been using my address and using my name and fooling you. So I am the person. She said, Teddy man, you are lying. That's not true. He
Wow.
really loves a real person. Right? They had to do a second show. I think I think they did about 3 episodes. That bring the man in studio. He
The real
literally
guy.
flew in, the real guy, Dr. Phil, and they flew him in to sit with her. And she was in tears. And she kept on
Wow.
saying, no, no, no. He treated me like a queen. He made me feel so good. Long and short of his story is that when they did whatever they did to find out who he was, it was a 25-year-old little African boy, right? Who apologized and whatever it is. You think about these young fellas, they're doing their work. But no, they don't get any money. They're gonna pay a sneakers or maybe a little couple of dollars to give the family something. They're working for, there's a big, what do you call it? Like a
Syndicate.
kingpin, the big heifers, the big fish, are the ones
Yeah.
who have them working for them. So they put these young guys out there who good with the internet, who could do the calling and put on the sexy voice and whatever it is, right? And they give them pittance for what that evil work that they do. So he was apologizing, and I think he really did feel sorry because some of these guys really don't have anything, right? And they don't realize how much they're hurting people until they get faced with it, right? And I said to myself, I mean, and she's not the only one. I mean, there's even a female. She was catfishing,
Wow.
right? Other women. And she was not a gay female. Nope. She was married, but she had a baby or two. gained a whole lot of weight, never felt she was pretty in high school or college, always felt she was less than. So
Right.
all of her friends who were the popular ones in school or whatever it is, she created a profile and catfished some of them. Two of them, I think, were people who she actually went to school with.
She knew.
And
Yeah.
pretended to be a man in love with him, with some male, good-looking male profile, and they believed, and they could not believe it was their classmate. She said she did it one day out of curiosity, and then she was successful. She did it again another day, and then became like a habit, came almost like gambling. She couldn't wait for her husband to leave the house one morning to get to the computer and just sit there for hours and just be on this thing doing this all day long. And she just get up and take a shower and cook something when he's coming home quickly in the afternoon, so he gets something to eat. But all day long, she sat at that computer and just kept gaining weight, and they didn't know what was happening. And just she went into a whole mental breakdown or whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So to me, that's the danger of getting into a conversation with somebody you don't know. It's a whole different ball game if you meet somebody in a network, in a group, and you're connecting and you're talking. That's because the person, even if the person lied to you, that person could be checked because you belong to a group, and the group leader and other people would probably know that person. So even if the person tell a lie and doesn't work out to be anything, there's still some kind of accountability happening inside of there. But to
Yes.
go and meet a complete stranger who told his name is Andrew Burrows. I call people name. I don't know who that is, huh? Or Andrew Smith or John Smith, right? Or whoever it is. And the person is not that person at all. Welcome to our viewer. So there's somebody viewing. Thank you for coming in and listening to us. Right? Today we're talking about online dating. Hope you enjoy our topic. Feel free to leave a comment. Yes? Yeah. And this person just say who they are. And they are a doctor. A lot of them like
Yeah.
to say they're in the military because they get these military men,
Oh my God.
always the good looking ones with a nice body and stuff, and they put these profiles up, right? And then what happens? You get catfished. That's not the person who they say they are, and you are in a mess at the end of it.
Well,
So
also, well, also,
that's my
Cheryl,
yeah.
the
Mhm.
catfishing is one thing, and then because there was a television series called Catfish, and
Mhm.
um, and there are those individuals who take it another step because they women and some men too are exposed to real physical danger with some of
Mhm.
these individuals. There are women who have been catfished. They've gone off, they've met this person online, they've gone off to meet this person, and they've ended up dead. So,
They're
and this is,
unalive. They're unalive.
oh yeah, sorry, they're unalive.
Sorry,
And
too. Yeah.
so, for many women, at least those who are, let's face it, there are millions of men and women out there who want to find love,
Of course. Of
whether
course.
it's within their own country, state, it could be anywhere. But people are designed, God made us this way. We are designed for community, we are designed to love each other, and it's this innate need. The danger comes when and I have seen, let's just be fair, I have seen relationships that have come out of online connections that have been very stable, very successful, and kudos to those individuals. Maybe that's part of the 14%. But
Yes.
when we look at the larger number unsuccessful, it comes from, I believe, number one, not knowing what, let's just look at the dating itself now. Because I would prefer this not to be negative, but also very positive, because we've learned about so many great tips in terms of becoming very successful at online dating. One one dating coach talks about, and I'll just take a look at my notes here, and he said, you know, men who are over 50, and let's just kind of zero in and zone in there for a short, they are at a different stage of their lives. They're no longer in their 20s and 30s. They're looking for a relationship where they can truly be themselves. Maybe they've gone through, they've become widows or they are divorced. And so now they're looking back on their lives and they're saying, you know what? How much time do I really have left? And I really want to find someone who can truly accept me for who I am and love me, and I give them love too. And they want someone who they can be real with, they can be their true selves with, that they can be vulnerable with. And vulnerability is, it's something that's very attractive if done right. And they also want someone that they can give to. And one other coach talked about women who, for because they have had to do things on their own for so long, they are now classed as the superwoman. I can do all things. And we talked about this at some time, in the
Yeah.
power, Cheryl. I can do all things. I don't need a man for this. I can change my own tire. I can change my own light bulbs. I can do all of these things. But there are some of these men who want to be the gentleman. They want to protect. They want to give without feeling as or without feeling that they're going to get negative feedback for wanting to be that kind of person. So some of the research has been very eye-opening. And tell me your thoughts, because I know you and I have talked at length about dating in the past, Cheryl. So what are some of the things that you're looking for in a relationship?
She likes to ask me questions, you know. A nice, tall man. He must be well established. He must love God. And he must love to give. One of my love languages is giving and receiving. I love to give and I like to receive. He must be tender, respectful, not just to me, but to all my people all around me. He must like to communicate. He must like to laugh, like to dance, like to sing, even our off-key voices. He must love to have fun. That would be my ideal person.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. I when I was married, my husband passed a number of years ago, folks. But the thing that attracted me to my husband, and even though we were 12 years old when we first met, was his laughter. He could make me laugh belly fulls, and that's what you know endeared him to me. And for any man who can make me laugh a whole lot, who loves having fun, and it could be for the quirkiest things. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to, the relationship doesn't have to be one where he has to give me a whole lot, but giving me his time and attention. For me, that's my love language. The time and the attention to listen to me, because communication is very, very important to me. Certainly loving God above all. And yeah, loving my kids and loving my cats for sure. Loving my cats, those things, those are the things that are important to me. And of course, going out sailing, I love the water, um, and just being free to enjoy having those conversations. Communication is huge, huge. Now, what I will say to you, Cheryl, I went on um, this amazing Facebook community, and it's called two communities actually. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. One is called 60 and Me, run by a fabulous
I
woman
would,
called
I would not have heard about them.
Margaret Manning. And then I just found a new one, which I'm going to dive into like crazy. And it's called Second Act TV. Now, that one captured my attention. And that one, I'm listening to these coaches, and so much of what they're saying resonated with me. They were talking about how to create a positive profile, not being negative, not giving a shopping list of all the things that you don't want in a person, and showing yourself in various capacities in terms of images, because men are attracted to images, but certainly not showing yourself off as if you're going to be a playboy bunny, which is what the Circa um the host of the show, Circa Schwarzkopf, was talking about. And just being real, showing yourself in different situations, whether or not it's a shot like what we have here today, or maybe you're out at a party with friends or out doing something physical, whether it's gardening or playing golf or stuff like that. So a lot of great information out there, but what I really want our viewers to know is that there's opportunity out there, certainly for women over 50, and we just have to see it as the long game. You may not find someone in the first 5 dates, but stay true to yourself. Don't give up, because one of the coaches said lots of times what we do is the first 5 dates go bad, and then here's a story we tell ourselves, this is too much work. I have my job, or I have my business, I have the children, I have the grandchildren, I have my gardening, maybe I like to go out with friends, and maybe that could satisfy me till I move on to the next stage, till God calls me home. And those are the stories that we tell ourselves. Or sometimes we might engage with a gentleman, and he has one high value attribute, and then we start making up these stories. Well, we both like golf, and he becomes the perfect man because of one attribute. And then we make up the stories that maybe we're walking down the aisle, and maybe this person doesn't have all of the attributes that we really are looking for in someone. And then some people are looking for short term. They're just looking for friendships. And then some are looking for friendships that can develop into marriage. So some of your thoughts on what we might be doing wrong, Cheryl. What do you think?
Well, you said a lot of stuff, but I want to go back to some things that you said. One of the first things you said that I may have agreed with you on is that you say he doesn't have to give you much. I was raised to understand a man is supposed to be a provider. It doesn't matter what the woman has. So I grew up in a home where the man did what he had to do over and beyond. So any man in my life, well, no matter what I have, will have to be that person to take care of stuff. I'll help him. We're a partnership, but I would never say he doesn't have to give me money. I would never come out of my mouth. Whatever you want to give, I am taking plus then. The other thing is that there was something I said. The age thing is like, age used to be a thing long ago. The reason why I don't talk about age, because age used to be a thing now. A lot of women, 50 years old, have husbands or boyfriends or partners who are 45 and under. And that's not a big deal. One of my best friends, right? Her husband just turned 50, right? She way up in her 60s, right? And they have been together for a number of years, and he's very devoted to her. That's why I don't talk about age. That used to be a long time thing. But everything was about age, and that's why I'm not joining any group that any 50 and 60 and over. I don't want to be there. I'm very sorry. I'm missing out something. I'm not going there, right? I'm going to stay in my positive thing. I don't want to hear about nobody with the arthritis. I'm selfish that way, people. That's who I am. I don't want to hear if I have somewhere hurting me, I will deal with my pain. I'm coming on nothing to complain about no hip surgery. Okay, fine. So, right. Because I don't want nobody right at this stage of my life who have to have hip replacement. Because if you're married for 20 something or 37, 40 years, and okay, fine, honey. I love you till death do us part in sickness and health. But I'm meeting you now to nurse your hip. I'm not doing it. I'd rather stay by myself. And a lot of young women nowadays very confused. I know somebody right now who I'm talking to. Very confused. Now you want somebody to love. You want somebody. But every time somebody approach you, you have all these from the time somebody show interest in you, start to push back. Start talking about all the things you want to do, all the things that you do. I don't know nobody stop from doing this, stop from doing that, stop from doing the other. Nobody has said to you yet, you know. Nobody's stopping you from going to doing all the extracurricular things you like to do, you like to whatever you like to do, you go ahead and do it. Because there are lots of men who will support you in the things that you like to do.
Of
But
course.
if you meet somebody and the first thing you start thinking about is that I like doing this on Sunday morning, I like doing this on Sunday evening, I like doing this on Monday, I like doing this on Tuesday, and I don't want to interfere with my routine, then you're on the wrong track. Because let me tell you something. Every relationship, even friendship like girlfriends,
Yeah.
required some kind of compromise.
Of
Even
course.
relationship as girlfriends requires some, because everything you say or do, I might not agree with you. But if we're friends, right?
Yes.
Likewise in a relationship and marriage, right? If you in a relationship with a man, right? He doesn't have to be perfect because you think about it, you're not perfect, right? You're not perfect. You know, I heard your quote said using one attribute. Maybe that attribute might be the what the person looking for. So maybe that is why the person attracted to that person. So maybe that's the attribute the person looking for. Because if you find somebody every single thing that you want, when you win all that yourself, none of us, it's like please let's be real. So I think attraction is a big deal. There's certain things like me for me cleanliness is a big deal. All I say tall. If you're my height or a little shorter than me and it's nice and clean and well put together, I might fall in love with you, you know. You never know. Right? Because that is something that's really important to me. Especially that man like to get people and pray and love God and he doesn't necessarily go to church all the time and church all the time. But he loves God and he honors who I am. If you little short than me, I will deal with I'll go down in middle flat shoe sometime or shrink myself down and meet them because that's what I want. So sometimes you have to compromise. There's always compromise in any relationship. You go to a job, there's a job you study and you work hard. When you get there, you have a boss who but you know what? You want that job, you want that paycheck at the end of the month. So you're gonna compromise certain things about how you feel. It can't always be about how you feel, about your own feeling. So therefore I disagree with that part of that part. And there was something else I can't remember right now. But any man who comes to me must be a man, like my father showed me how a man's supposed to be. Friday evening, he going out of line, but he comes home first and he brings home that woman's money to go in her market and her groceries and stuff. He's bringing that and putting that there. And that to me is what a man is supposed to do. I want a man to tell me, you working, and you never have. And that doesn't mean that if we are together and there's an issue and I can't help you with something. That doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that I'm not willing to go that way. But I'm saying that that's not what I'm looking for at all, at all. I say if I have one loaf of bread and you can't put the butter and the cheese to go with it, I will eat my bread by myself because I want anybody come. See, that's when you're 20 years old, 19 or 20, you can get involved with somebody who up and coming, who don't really have and can't provide and can't whatever. Because then you're working and growing together. When you get a certain age in your life, that's not a thing. Because I don't know how we go on the yacht sailing and stuff if you don't have money. And it doesn't mean he has to be rich, but he has to be comfortable and be able to steward his finances properly. So you all could put together and say, okay, this week we're going down the island. You will pay for that, I will pay for this. Not a problem with me on that. But he has to have something to live that kind of lifestyle. So if
Let
you're
me
in
just jump
half
in
brother,
here. Let me
no,
just jump in here.
let me finish my statement. If you're in half brother boy, don't bother to say are looking nice. I'll tell you thank you and I'll keep walking. Yes, go ahead.
So I think maybe you misunderstood what I said earlier in terms of we were talking about love languages. And so
Mm-hmm.
there are five love languages. One
Mm-hmm.
of them is receiving gifts.
Right.
That is not my love language. So I want to clarify that. It is not my love language. My love language is time and connection. So that's one of the main things that's very important to me. When we talk about two people coming together in a relationship, this is, again, we're talking about online dating, ladies, and if we have any gentlemen who are here with us.
I
So,
don't want the men to be here. I need men to step away. This is for women. Okay, this is
so
a This channel is called With Women in Mind, and I'm very serious about talking to women. My, my,
Okay.
my ministry is really to build women up. That's what I'm called for. Love the men, I love the men, but brothers, another time for you. Yes.
Okay. So, ladies, if we I'm hoping to get back on my train of thought. Yeah. So, in any relationship, there should be partnership.
Hmm.
It's how I've always lived my life. When my mom and we tend to live what we grew up with, what we saw. My dad was an excellent provider. My mom was a homemaker. In my first marriage, before my husband passed on, my husband was a great provider. And so any relationship that I have, um, there would be that expectation that we're both coming together. He is established as well as I'm established. I'm not looking for someone to come rescue me financially or otherwise. Um, Being a gentleman is part of the deal. It's what I expect. So I just wanted to clarify that because I think you misunderstood.
No,
I
I
was,
did not. I did not, and I never
hold
thought that
on.
you said that the person must be like a savior to you. I never thought you said that. I was
No,
just
no, no.
saying, from my point of view, that what my father taught us was that he was no matter what happened in the house, he was the man. And I think that I raised my sons. I tell my sons all the time, no matter what that woman has, you are the man. So you all could get together because we know times are different. You know, men who know how full-time homemakers again, maybe there are some of them, but a lot of them are not. And a lot of women have the career, so you get together, you do your thing, you pay your mortgage, you do what you have to do. But the thing is, at the end of it, they know that what your role is. Know that you are the man, right? Because the role of men in the world is being diminished. And I don't know why we're on this subject when we're supposed to be talking about online dates. But anyway, we'll get back on stream just now. The role of men in the world is being greatly diminished, right? Because of too many women who I meet, and of all ages, not some of them not even so young, some of them 40 years, when you get to 40, you're a woman, right? Still talking about being independent. And I don't know what that means. Because you want, like I did a talk for a couple of women a couple of months ago. And like I said to them, you all keep saying you want to be independent, right? Well, what does that really mean to you, right? Because you're independent, because you have your own keys and your own car and your own money and your own this. But every Monday morning, just calling him again, Leroy is leaving your house before sun comes up. And he's leaving all his DNA in your bed, in your bathroom, on your everywhere inside your house. So you're not independent. You're not, right? Because coming from a Christian point of view, I look at morals that way. And all things start off with friendship. Friendship will always be the catalyst for any relationship. You can't get involved with somebody and get married to or being the friend first. That to me that could never work, right? So I'm saying that they need to be careful what they say, because what they're getting themselves into is what they term situationships or friends with benefits and all the other things. And my mother taught me, and once you get to that level with a male in your life, that is the deepest secret you can have. There's no making style on him. There's no saying, I don't want him anymore because he already got what he got. There's nothing more he could get from you unless he cut you and take some blood out. There's nothing more he could get from you. So I'm just saying that is my trend. I have always been strict on that. And I will, when I'm speaking to women at any age, I always tell them the same thing. If you want to talk about friends with benefits and stuff, you're talking to the wrong person, not me. If you want to talk about getting into a relationship, right, with somebody who will respect you, fine. But don't come and tell me independent and you have this and you have that and you have the other. But every Monday morning, Leroy leaving your house before the sun come up. What is he doing there? Right? Because you don't want to commit, but you want other things. Well, I know the world sees it differently, but I would stick to my morals and my thought process as I was raised. Because I'm not perfect. Listen, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying I'm sticking to my morals. This is what I believe in, right? I talk to my sons all the time. I talk to my son with his girlfriend here. I say, You're getting married? Why is she always here? Right? And he probably hearing me saying it right now. But after we can ask him, why is she always here? Right? Because you're not engaged. I don't want anything to happen to anybody's daughter in my house, or for her to break apart and her parents to feel that you used her or something like that. I still old school in my brain. I'm gonna be 35 in my brain, but the next section is very old school. So that's a fact. So I didn't think that you were saying that. So right, I didn't think you was. I just was bringing my point of view to it. That I think a man, especially at a certain age, if you're 19 or 20, fine, everybody's struggling. But when you get to a certain age in life, I don't want somebody now who's struggling. Why? To do what? To do what? To come to harass me? To cook food for you and all kind of, and you can't buy going to the grocery? No, thank you. I'm very sorry. I have no problem being alone. I always tell people, I never feel lonely. As much as I would like to meet somebody, I am never ever lonely. I always find things to occupy myself. My brain is always on a high. I always think very highly of myself. I look in the mirror and I'm satisfied with what I see and how I feel. Even when my back hurting me like right now. I know why my back is hurting me. I lifted up some things for Christmas and I should not have done that. That table thing that I moved, I should not have done it, and I'm feeling it now. But I know why. So I will do something to correct it, and I'll promise myself not to do it again, or I might do it again because I have that habit of doing that kind of thing, moving things around on my own. But I am not lonely. So I might be alone, but I am never lonely. I'm not. I don't carry my mind never goes there. I have things to do, right? So say what you have to say. Let's go back onto the swipe left and the swipe right, the games that people play.
Well, I think women are looking, again, women are looking, we are talking to women, so women are looking for love. Men are too. Um, it's just what are their expectations in finding love, lasting love through online dating.
Yeah,
And one of my recommendations would be to find a coach. A coach, if you're serious, it is not going to be free. But if you can find a coach who can support your goals, be clear about what you want. Are you going to be willing to invest the time it will take to find someone online? Understand what your expectations are, what your limitations may be. Do you have limitations on your time? Do you have limitations on your resources? Then these are things to take into account. There are quite a number of very successful love and
yeah,
relationship and success coaches out there who can help you find the person that is right for you. They will guide you. They will give you all the steps. They will also include the how to's, how to write the profile, because there is a science and an art to creating
yes,
an online profile that will give you the results that you are looking for. As one coach said,
definitely.
make sure that you have the stamina. The stamina, not just physically, but it's going to require mental stamina because it may not happen if you are serious and really decide, are you serious? If you are, then it's going to take some time. One coach said that often women may end up having gone on a few dates. Now it may be online, like a Zoom call, if you happen to be in two different countries, and then of course you navigate getting together face to face. Now, if
Yeah,
you're up for that, there is a process. But
yeah,
let us say, just for crazy sake, that you went on a site, you have a coach, you put out your profile looks amazing, you have been truthful, and now you've got people reaching out to you. 5 dates, different people. How does that work out? Do you split the bill? Where do you go on your first date? Um, what do you talk about? Do you keep it casual? Do you out of the gate say these are my non-negotiables and rattle off your shopping list. All of those nuances a coach will help you with. You've got to have some resources though. But if you're serious about finding love online, it will absolutely, or I should say it can absolutely result in a positive outcome for you, because a number of these coaches who are the very successful ones, I know one in particular who's a member of the Christian business development group that I'm a part of, and he helps women find the love of their life, and he has been extremely successful. Now, I know him, I know Jeff, because he's part of our Christian group. And a lot of people, he has all of the data, he's got all of the testimonials. And yes, it's going to cost some money. But again, if you're serious, it's absolutely worth it. I would suggest that if you are um, looking to do the online dating, don't do this on your own. It's just going to be, it can be very frustrating, and you can probably give up if you don't have guidance. And so that is pretty much it for me. I think some of the mistakes that um, coaches see is, number one, women are not clear on what they want. Number two, they still hold on to, like your friend, well, if I go out, that don't word. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to compromise. Um, you're starting off on the wrong foot. So for all of those folks who want to be super women without understanding that in any relationship, and you're quite right, Cheryl, in any relationship, even girlfriends like you and I, there must be a willingness to compromise on certain
Yeah.
things. Certainly not on the big things.
No,
Like,
not in integrity and stuff, but there's certain things you compromise on because you know what I mean. You're not me and I'm not you. So
yes,
there, you might say something I don't agree with, or might like five kitties and I might beg. That's not me, right? But I mean, that's what you like, right? So I
exactly.
can't just say I'm not going to be your friend because you like to have cats around you, right? I can tell you that's not my thing, right? One little doggy is enough, right? So like I said, in everything that's come. But what I would like advice, no, what I think Trinidad and Tobago needs, I don't know how many of them they have, are like matchmaking services. 'Cause I think those work pretty well. Because usually in matchmaking services, the parties are vetted before they
Yes.
function and they meet. So they kind of know who meeting each other, right? So I think that is a good option. I know one person who does it. She was supposed to get in touch with me months ago, and I haven't heard from her, so I don't know if she had anything at all. I know COVID had kind of put a spoke in everybody's wheel, kind of something, kind of stop things, But that's a very good service, right? The other thing I would advise women to do is to listen to stories. I look at a lot of true crime videos. If anything was to happen to me, and the police have to search my computer, they'll find a whole lot of true crime. I just love true crime. I don't know why, especially true stories, of crime. And this girl, British, nice, pretty young girl, just graduated from college and everything, university. And she was talking to this guy online for like a while, like months, And he invited her to meet him wherever thing. So her parents knew she was going to meet him. She left home. They met in a restaurant. That's how they was able to
Yeah.
catch that son of a gun.
Hmm.
And he took her to dinner. So they were in an open place, right? I don't know what she ate or drank, but he took her back to his hotel room. And you can see in the footage, because everywhere has cameras these days,
Yes.
where she didn't look like herself. The person who greeted that guy and came up to him and went to him and was at a restaurant was a different person. She didn't walk like he kind of almost was aiding her. So either she was drunk, he drunk into her, he put something in her drink.
Yeah.
And of course, hours later, because she didn't turn up home and they were looking for her, he left the building again, went back to the building, went downstairs, came up with all those long bins with the handles, and left hours later pulling this big heavy bin. And of course, that turned out to be her inside of that bin.
Oh no.
So, and then here in Trinidad, right here in Trinidad, there was a school teacher who a couple of years old. I'm not, if you Google it, you'll be able to find that story. And I think she'd been single for a long time, and she met this guy online, and they were, talking back and forth. And he invited her on her first date, and she was so excited. She told all her friends she was going on his first date. But the mistake she made, he wanted to go on a river line. Who goes on a first date on a river line? I don't know, whatever. He took on a river line. So they made this, they were going to have a picnic. And she never came back. She never came back. He's in that big house right now, the biggest house in Trinidad and Tobago, that big jail. He's in there right now, charged for murder, because somehow she ended up with her neck broken and unalive when they went looking for her. So these are some cautionary tales. So it might sound morbid, but these are stories I look at, and I think on Dr. Phil, and I look at and I know that, okay, if I'm going to meet somebody, it will always be public. And I will going to monitor that drink like, that drink will be in my hand forever. I'm not putting on my glass and going to the bathroom. I'm not turning my face away from him. I am going to be watching him every single step of the way. Because guess what? There are people who have gone to people who they knew before, not online, who they know. They from the neighborhood or the school, something, and they were, by that person who they thought they knew. So you have to, and sometimes you never know people. So you really have to be very, very careful. I say, women have a lot of what was it? Intuition. If your gut telling you something is wrong, because sometimes this guy was talking fast. All the things that he had, all the plans he had, and oh, you're so pretty. He probably said about 10,000 times. I mean, okay, enough already. Brother, cool it, brother. You know what I mean? There are certain telltale signs. I also read up. If you can't afford to pay a coach, as Christine suggested, read up about it. Look at some of these truths. These are true stories. That's what happened to real people in real life across the world. Right? Look at some of these videos and listen to what is happening. Because you're looking for love. All of us looking for trying to find someone. And we don't want to make those kind of mistakes, because it is real, ladies. It is very, very real.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm saying always err on the side of caution. Read up, listen, and never leave to go to meet someone you don't know unless you let somebody else know where you're going. Christine, I met Jonathan, and we're going on a date, and we're going to be X, Y, and Z. I meet him for 6 o'clock, and drive your own car, take a taxi there, or your Uber, or your TT ride chef in Trinidad, whatever, and get yourself there. Don't let him come to your house the first time. That's about the 10th date, or maybe 6. After you get accustomed to him, and he's not on a scene, right? He must not know where you live. You meet him somewhere. That's one of the things I know of. Meet that person somewhere. So there's a lot out there. Dr. Phil has a lot of programs. There are a lot of online programs you can listen to. There are lots of things you can read about it, and engage a coach if you have the finance. Or maybe there might be more than one matchmaker in Trinidad, or wherever you are in the world. There might be a matchmaker who hosts these parties with people already vetted, right? Because if you think about it, back in the day with the weddings, when they sent an escort, a single person to escort a single person, it was really like a matchmaking something, Because I think the whole idea was hoping that, okay, a connection be made, and many times that happened. That couple end up being a couple, So just just err on the side of caution. I would not denounce online dating. Yeah, I would not denounce online dating. I am just saying a little more than regular dating. Regular dating, you have to be careful too. But on online dating, I'll be super, not paranoid, but super careful. Make sure you dot your I's, cross your T's, ask questions, on the side of caution, stay in open daylight, and do like my sister. You want to take me out to dinner? No, why don't we have lunch? So you go out in broad daylight, midday sun. Everybody can see your face, and I can get to see you good too, right? When the guy, her now husband of 25 years, when he asked her the first time, he asked for dinner, and she said, why don't we go to lunch? And he said he knew exactly what she was saying there. And he said, okay, no problem. Because he really wanted to take her out. So that's a genuine case. They've been married for 25 years, right? But the thing is,
Right.
that could have been a whole different something. But she
Yeah.
was smart even back then, right? Why don't we go to lunch? So sometimes you got to be careful. You've got to be careful. I know people who met people at parties. It's not a good place to meet men. I know someone, right? She's very popular in Trinidad and Tobago here. She met her husband and she said she was almost did not go to that carnival fete. It was one of those inclusive, all inclusives. She didn't want
Yes.
to go. She kind of and she went and she met the love of her life. He is a fabulous, fabulous guy, a wonderful father, and husband and father to her daughter. She had by her first marriage. Beautiful person. Let me tell you something, right? So sometimes you never know. I say pray, organize the profile properly, be real, please. Candace Owen said something that made me laugh. She said, she thinks she has to go on all those dating sites. She'll probably dumb down her picture a little bit. So get if the guy likes her, when he sees her, he'll be like, oh, you're prettier than I thought. Rather than you enhance your face. And when you get there, he'd think in his mind, that's not the nose I saw, or those are not the lips I saw, that's not the person I saw. You know what I mean? So always try to be authentic. Try to be yourself, your best self in these things. And just be careful. Pray about it. Pray about it. If you need God out of everything or out of anything, then you can take anything. So you need to always go to God first with everything. And that's how I end today. Right? Christine, what your final thoughts are?
My final thoughts are that it's a truly involved process.
Yes.
But step one, know yourself, go to God in prayer, because God will never send you in the wrong path. Sometimes we are looking at things to help us achieve a goal when God probably has another option ready for us. So bring God into every aspect of your life, and you will not be led wrong. Um, Also, be cautious.
Yes.
Do not take it for granted and don't get overexcited, ladies. Always keep your head on. I have friends who are in the protective services, and these are security people, either private security or not so much police, but private security. I have friends who own their own private security companies, and I have in the past, I might be going somewhere. I have a concern. If I have a concern, I would WhatsApp one of them and say, "Hey, look, this is happening. Could you please?" And I send photos and I send information. If there's something saying to you, think twice, then one, don't go. Two, do your security checks. You can't, it can't harm, guys. It can't harm. And so, and then just let people know who you're going out with, where you're going, the time frame, and I endorse everything that Cheryl said. Do not let people come picking you up on the first, second, third date, right? And always let your family members or your closest friends know, okay, I said I was going here, arrive safely. Let them know. So in the event that you are delayed any at all, there are several timestamps that your friends and family can follow. You're about to leave a restaurant, send a WhatsApp. Leaving now, be home in 15 or be home in 20 minutes or be home in 30, whatever that is. But at least there's always, and let people, let the date know that you have friends and family who know exactly where you are at every step of the game, you know? So, we just have to be very smart about going out there and engaging with people. I actually too have a friend, Sharon, many years ago, had just come out of a not so positive relationship, went to a carnival party here in Trinidad, and met the love of her life. Within, he sent her flowers. The very next day, he was headed back to his home country, and within 3 months, he was back in Trinidad getting married to her. And they've been together now for 30 years. So the beautiful stories are out there,
Yes, they
but
are.
you more often hear about the ones that can be a little scary. Don't
Yeah.
allow fear, however, to dictate what you do next. Just go in faith, keep God in front of everything that you do, and know that there's someone out there who's right just for you. That's it for me.
Okay, so folks, you've had an earful. So to connect with Christine or myself on on the YouTube channel here, you will see Linktree /Christine Francois, spelled the same way as her name is on the screen, right? Linktree /Christine Francois. She's a wellness coach. You can contact her through that link. And there's everything about her and everything. Anything you want to know about her is there. Business wise, it's there. And for me, same thing, Linktree, Cheryl Diane Speaks. Spelled like that, Cheryl Diane Speaks on mine. Just contact us if you want to. We will love to make contact with you all. We'd love to, perhaps do business, perhaps just continue, just have a feedback, something, from any one of you all.
We'd
So
love to hear from
we'll
you.
see you again, yes, next Monday, God willing, same time, same channel. Those of you who old enough to know what I'm talking about, Batman, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.